Today, we're talking about gun sales, but not in the way that you may think. We're talking about black women being a driving force in the recent uptick of gun purchases, and for good reason. The Violence Policy Center reports black women experience domestic violence and other violent crimes at disproportionately higher rates than white women. Not to mention the murder rate for black women is more than double that of white women in the U.S., and homicides for black victims are less likely to be solved. As Brother Malcolm X, of course, said, the most disrespected, unprotected, and neglected person in America is the black woman. Still joining me is in this discussion is Antonia Okafor. She is the founder and president of the nonprofit Empowered. Also with us, Philip Smith with the National African American Gun Association. Antonia, what do you mean when you say that gun rights are women's rights?
Yes, a little bit about the background of you were talking about when it comes down to education is that we as African American women particularly, but African Americans in general, have a rich history of gun ownership as a way to protect ourselves. And so the biggest thing is that, we have Ida B. Wells, we have Harriet Tubman, we have even, in the 60s and 70s, the civil rights movement that was particularly focused on Black Panthers, which was the Black Panther Party for self-defense, came down to women who were taking, again, that image that they had before, being complacent, docile people, to empowered people, empowered Black women with firearms. So you saw that imagery with Angela Davis, you saw that imagery with Kathleen Cleaver, because it was the empowered Black woman. And so that's what we're seeing again now today, is that those women are taking that image back, that empowered image that we see of Black women. Unfortunately, the stats show that we are the victims way more than any other demographic, but now we're showing that we are the highest demographic of gun owners because we're taking that power and that confidence back.
Yeah, indeed. In my neck of the woods, y'all, they say, don't argue with people that Harriet would have shot. And of course, that's referencing the great Harriet Tubman in that historical context. Philip, I do want to ask you this. As much as we talk about gun rights, we have to talk about responsibilities that come with gun ownership. Talk a bit about what those responsibilities entail and how your organization addresses them.
Education is our strong suit with the National African Gun Association. When you purchase a gun, we go over how that gun should be stored, how that gun should be handled, who should have access to that gun, and who should not, more importantly, should not have access to that gun. There's a process when you join our organization where you are updated and constantly fed information on how to be a safe, quote unquote, gun owner. And I think that's a very, very important step that's missed by a lot of folks that are out there, because it's one thing to have a gun at home, but if you don't have that gun secured and know how to use it, you're going to be in trouble. Another thing that's very, very important, when you have a gun, as you mentioned earlier, it varies the law from state to state. One state you're able to open carry, another state you may not be able to open carry. Some states you can have a gun in the car, some states you cannot. So you to get educated on the laws within your state. And in our organization, based on which state you are, our chapters go over that in detail, because ignorance is not an excuse in the eyes of the law.
It sure is not. And to that point, what we're seeing a lot recently are a lot of Black celebrities being just caught up in issues at the